And
Time is X minus 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
all
What's up,
right.
my PilotCity peeps? Wait, hey, what's up, my PilotCity peeps? Today we're here with the Pill Buddies, and my name is Timmy.
My name is Monica, and Tim and I are hosting these Pill Buddies. Pill Buddies, they're one of our teams here. Can you introduce yourselves, please?
Hello, I'm Rylan from Pill Buddies.
I'm Brandon from Pill Buddies.
And would you mind telling us a little bit about your project and what actually we mean when we're talking about the Pill Buddies?
So our project was an automated smart pill hub that would basically act as a kind of dispenser for seniors, which would help them. It would be automatic rather than a manual pill box, and it would help them dispense medication and kind of organize it as well, and be also kind of a menu of how could they could organize their medicine, and would provide them with telecommunication with their doctors.
So, like, what was the process of building it, or the concept of it?
So when we first started the program, we all kind of just sat around and we were thinking about the 7 different possibilities of what we could make a project on, and we chose home-based healthcare. Um, and we kind of thought about like what would really be something that might benefit people that need extra help at home. And our first thought were the seniors, because seniors are usually the people that don't often leave their home and need the help the most, though. Um, and thinking about seniors, we realized that almost all seniors take some sort of pills, and most of them take, I think 70% take over 4 or 5 pills per day. So we really decided to make a concept from there, and that's how we built to our product today.
Very cool. Can you tell us why you chose this project?
So we chose this project mainly because we saw that we were given, but when we were starting our Kaiser Permanente entrepreneurship, we were given prompts to choose from, and it was such as I think one of them was getting accustomed to hospitals, or kind of alleviating the fears patients have of entering hospitals, and there were a lot of obviously medical related ones. But the one we chose was the sound prompt, and it was the one of the ones that was really what what Kaiser wanted interns to be looking into, and it was home-based healthcare. So we thought, just as Ron said, we found that like seniors were what came to mind first when we thought of people who couldn't really um, go out and actually get medical assistance, especially with organizing pills. And obviously, or like organizing pills is like a dangerous thing, especially for um, seniors with dementia or Alzheimer's. So we thought, what if we had a pill dispenser that kind of helped them with that? That would make home life really easy for them.
So, is it an actual machine?
Yes, so you can almost imagine it sort of like a laptop, but take the bottom of the laptop and extend it farther down, and that's where you'll have your pills containing. In the middle, there's a circular a rotating container with multiple different slots for different pills to be contained in, and it will rotate to whatever pill needs to be dispensed. whenever time it has to be dispensed. On the top of the sort of laptop looking mechanism is a screen with all the information of the UI. And this will show you things such as like the next time for a pill, how much you're taking, if you have to refill soon, and things such as that nature. Um, and on top of that, we're adding other features to it, including a webcam so that you can contact your doctor since that's hard to do during COVID, and other systems like that. So yeah, it's a machine. Yeah.
Oh, very cool. You mentioned that it's difficult now with doctors being not as easy to access besides virtually. How did the pandemic and COVID-19 affect your project? How the building of it and your team?
So it was really difficult. I mean, it wasn't that difficult to communicate with each other since we had Discord and Zoom. But what was really difficult was since a lot of our project was mainly it was physical based. Without any of the physical parts, we couldn't really add more to the design. We also couldn't um, like get feedback from seniors and visit them and kind of show them how it worked, and like they would give us feedback for that we could use to improve on our product. But we couldn't really do that because seniors were the most susceptible, one of the most susceptible groups to COVID. So obviously that would be detrimental to their health. So we couldn't do that. Because and we also were actually aiming to visit larger groups of seniors in nursing homes because we believe that the pill buddy or the pill buddy pill dispenser would actually help with nursing homes because it would help caretakers of those nursing homes it would kind of alleviate their worries because you would have a pill box that would dispense pills automatically rather than caretakers having to take care of each individual's medicine. So we couldn't do that. We couldn't visit nursing homes, and the main problem we had with COVID was we couldn't actually print our parts, right? And we couldn't get together and build it, so that was kind of difficult. We could only really create a CAD model.
So other than COVID, how'd you guys get over the hurdle?
So I think the first thing was all of us, like since the start, sort of were like, yeah, even with COVID, like we all like made sure that we were still committed to the project, right? And from there, we sort of planned it out a little bit. So we kind of thought, okay, the stuff that we can do, we have to like execute perfectly, right? Because maybe we might not be able to make parts at the moment and stuff like that. But when that time comes, we want to have everything else that we can do completely ready and fully fledged out. So in the meantime, we did things like we tweaked the design. We couldn't really give like, we couldn't make it, so we couldn't get like physical opinion from seniors, but we had a couple of conversations just to like, see what everyone's thinking so we can sort of add them to our design and see if that'll work better. Such as where they dispense, we added a detachable tray so that they can pull it out because sometimes it's hard for seniors to grab into these sort of things. And just systems like that are sort of ways we overcome some hurdles that COVID brought in. And I think we did pretty well considering the circumstances.
Agreed. I'm curious, were there any surprises for your team? Because COVID was definitely a big surprise, but besides that, was there anything a good or not so good thing that happened?
So as we started talking to experts and mentors and all our success managers, and we realized that there was a lot more to getting our product out there, such as we had since it was kind of like a laptop where we could also store the personal like information of the consumer. We would also need to take into account HIPAA acts, so we couldn't we would have to make it extremely private or we were planning on using a program that would kind of we could design our own UI, but obviously that might not be strong enough to protect users' data. So we would need it to keep it really like general. Like we could have their first name, the email they registered with, a password they make for the pill dispenser, and maybe like the types of medication they take, and that was really about all we could do. We also needed FDA approval because it's really, since pills have very similar sizes and it's really difficult to kind of identify a pill based on its size. We need to create a pill sizing wheel that was basically a kind of pills that were put together in a similar size, and you take kind of the average or the largest pill of that group and create a hole for that size, and that would be how the pills would be dispensed. And we actually needed FDA approval for that because obviously, that's, if that pill dispensing messed up, then that wouldn't be good.
So, like, did you talk to any companies or seniors? Because I know in Pilot City, every week we had to contact 100. I think it was at least 100 people.
Yeah, so we contacted a good amount of people, and they gave us pretty good advice for a lot of things. Contacting seniors was still kind of difficult because most seniors aren't really adept with technology. But regardless of that, we still we contact a lot of companies. We had some pharmaceutical companies that were interested in things of that nature, and some that gave us advice, such as the process of FDA approval and such. But yeah, I think that we contacted a lot of people, and we got some pretty good advice. But we're still looking to get more and further progress.
Very cool. What were some of the takeaways you got from doing this project? Either what you learned about yourself as an individual or working on a project such as this.
So I think a really big takeaway was that I kind of got the gist of, or not really the gist, but I kind of learned more about how, like, especially in the medical field, like the medical manufacturing is really, you have to take into account a lot of things, especially if you're creating something that's both software and hardware, because we found about FDA, we found about like how difficult it was to get FDA approval, and how we had to take into account the privacy of, obviously the privacy of users. And I guess I learned that you really have to take into account a lot of things for medical devices. I mean, yeah. Now, what about you, Rylan?
Yeah, I took a lot away from the project. Sort of the whole process of making a product in general. I think it was definitely things like FDA approval and stuff like that is a long process, but I also feel like it gave me a lot more determination to, if I will have like some idea in the future, rather than it being like this huge um, thing or this huge wall in front of me that I think like, no, how could I do that? How could I possibly turn this into like some idea that could be helpful? It feels a lot closer now, knowing the steps and processes I could take to make a product in the future.
So, what are your next steps for the pill dispenser?
So next steps for the pill dispenser are, well, next we're trying to, we took a little bit of a break just because of school and other things starting up, but we're working on trying to find places where we can make physical parts at the moment. We're working on the software for the thing, which is almost done, and other such things are sort of the path we're taking right now. More of the physical portion is what we're kind of working on, while also I'm still looking at other places that are interested at the same time.
Yeah, I think it'll take a while since or for us to actually like get physical stuff done as well as contact seniors, because I believe now Alameda County is in the purple tier again. So I don't think that's gonna happen for a while. So we'll just have to wait.
Okay. And if you were to have done, would you have done anything differently through this process now that you've been in the IFX program with PilotCity and in the flagship and all of that? Is there anything you would have changed?
I think. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Ryan.
No, you can go. You can go.
Oh, okay. I think what we probably could have done first is strived for a manual product before, and then I guess like excluding the aspects of COVID, I think what we could have done was first like be able to kind of create a manual pill dispenser first and then ask seniors to test it rather than thinking like we could create an automated one and then have seniors test it. If anything, I think it would have been more beneficial if we first created a manual one that would have taken less time, and then we could have gotten like instant feedback from seniors telling us like if this were automated, how would they want it? Because we'd already have that external like that shell of kind of like a bunch of three amalgamation. I don't know if that's the best term, but of 3D printed parts, and it would kind of give us a better idea if we had done that first, because we did receive advice from success managers about uh, kind of making a manual product first because they had concerns about like um, if it was accurate enough to dispense the correct amount of pills for a senior. Yeah, so that's what I would change.
Yeah, I agree with them. I think, I mean, obviously, none of us could have really predicted that. I mean, COVID was coming. Not like completely predicted, but um, if I like was able to look back, I would probably have said, yeah. I mean, we're not going to be able to work on this really as much in person now, So let's get as much done as we can here. Go to as many seniors and like ask of their opinion while we still can, and stuff of that nature. But yeah, I think that was. Um, yeah, I agree with Brandon on.
What was your favorite part of being in Pilot City?
I think for me
Um,
it's sorry, go ahead. Yeah, no, go ahead. I went first last time.
um, I think for me, I like that Pilot City was is a very it's a really nice community because some things it's like although we're all working on something and things I feel like some communities are less like less of a we're all trying to push each other to do as well as we can and more of just a competition to see who can be at the top. While I think Pilot City is we're all striving to do our best, but we're not trying to push each other down in the process to be the best. And I think that's what I liked about Pilot City because it's a nicer community where we all feel encouraged to continue going because of how um, push each other in a good way.
Yeah, I for me it's the same thing. The community. I guess I'll just name a different like kind of aspect that I like about it is that there's a lot of opportunity there in the community, especially since everyone has different sets of skills. Some have video editing, some can code, some are good at business. Some are good at communicating with professionals, and it's really diverse, and everyone can help each other out, and it's really it's a tight knit group, and I think that's what I like about, or that's probably my favorite part of Iowa City.
I'm glad. If for the people that are on the fence for joining or are interested in, what do you have to say to them? Yes.
If you're looking for experience, especially for both college and life after college, Pilot City is definitely a good place. If you have trouble communicating with others, Pilot City is a perfect place to kind of grow that skill, because you're not only communicating with people outside of Pilot City, but you're also like getting you're building friendships within Pilot City, and that's definitely a confidence booster. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, when I notice, are like they see Pilot City and they think, "Whoa, I can get like an internship." And I think it's more than just that. It's like, um, although it gives you, it's really great, and you can get really good immediate um, interning with some really great places. I also think that it gives you like a lot of really good experience in things that you wouldn't really get anywhere. And sometimes it can be hard. You know, sometimes you might work because you want to, but it's all a really great experience in the end. That I think if you do it, you're not going to regret it. Because some things you're like, wow, I just worked so hard on this, and now, I mean, it was okay. You know, sorry about the train. Um, but I think with Pilot City, after you've worked hard, you can not only see your accomplishments, but also just feel great about them in the end.
That was, I agree with you guys because there were certain times where I'm like, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this summer until I got to Pilot City. I'm like, bro, I think this is better than actually being with people that I usually would be with in the summer.
I'm glad. It's been quite a fun time. And this community is, I think, been something that none of the team was really expecting it to pop up. Either the groups having competitions or clubs evolving and different friendships being made. Very cool. Which brings us to our last point. Are there any teams that you would like to nominate or shout out as of right now?
Do you have any, Brandon?
Uh, I don't remember the team names. Okay, it's they made the app, the nutrition app, the nutrition app that allowed you to scan a product and it would tell you kind of the nutritional benefits.
Oh, is it Solomon and Aryan?
Yes, yeah,
That duo? Okay.
Yeah. We can say nutrient nuts this time since they nominated us, but
You can pass it on.
Solomon and sorry, what's the argument? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. That's cool. So Solomon and Aryan.
You're up next.
So thank you. All right. Rylan and Brandon, what's very last thing, what's one word to describe Pilot City?
Enriching.
Yeah. Empowering.
Okay. Thank you both. And there you have it. Thank you everybody for joining us for our second podcast of this series. We'll tune in next time with Tim and I and Aryan and Solomon.